Well, welcome everyone again. For those who joined later, I first want to address the name of this presentation because it's very important. First of all, the word positive romantic relationships. What I mean here is not relationships when people feed off each other's weaknesses or maybe abuse the other person against that person's will, or there are some kind of unhealthy ways of behaving. We're talking about two people willingly entering a relationship. Also, it's a process that has several steps. And another one is actually, we're talking about romantic relationships. And what I mean here is not, friends with benefits or just some kind of fling or maybe, sexual relationship only. I'm talking about a long-term relationship that both people enjoy. And this process is both for those who are interested in getting married and those who just want to be romantic partners for a long time. So this is, I think, a really important um, part. So first, let me kind of give you an overview of the landscape of relationships nowadays in the modern world. First of all, you may not realize that, but cultural, economical, and religious norms tell us to pair up. Basically, there are tax incentives to people who are families or married, and singles kind of have to pay the fee for having their freedom and being alone. So the society is interested in us humans to be paired up. However, kind of it's not clear how, because we're given a story that we should be with someone, and we are bombarded by stereotypes of what that person should be or how that love story should look. And obviously, many people fall for those stereotypes. Like one of the examples, some women want, tall, dark, and handsome, kind of omitting other qualities, and basically fall for it. So as a result, we're all competing for the same thing in the modern world. And those who are maybe not tall, dark, and handsome, kind of have to struggle. And what also is happening, men and women create strategies how to stand out, how to compete for the same resources, right? And attract each other. And some of those strategies may not be really honest, right? And also, those strategies may not be designed to get what you want. So some people may want just to have financial security and they're looking for a partner, right? Or just sexual relationship. Someone wants to have a spouse. So we need to look through those strategies to really understand what we want, not only what others want. The other thing I really want to mention, and I'm sure some of you already know about it, but we all have masculine and feminine energy. And some men may say, especially, who are really proud to be men, that, oh, no, I'm very masculine, I have no feminine part. But think about this. When you feel compassion for something, or when you follow your intuition, you do utilize your feminine energy. Maybe you have more masculine than feminine. So all of us, okay? And in today's world, there are some women who have to be very strong, have to be providers. They may have more masculine energy at times than feminine. So for the sake of this in the presentation, wherever you see men and women signs, just think about masculine and feminine energy, okay? Because if there are two partners, same gender, one of them has more masculine, the other one has more feminine anyways. So what we are not taught, and this is really interesting, Um, so when we talk about longing for someone else in our life, it's not that we are not enough and we need someone to make us happy. It's more that two energies together make a complete human being. And some people get that missing energy from other sources. For example, the son may um, kind of really want his mother's, care and feminine energy, or maybe a friend's energy that kind of completes you, helps you. But the thing is that two energies together really support each other, and some people cultivate both energies within them, but it's hard and it's not as much fun. Um, Second part, we're not taught that relationships are both biological and divine. Okay. And this is a very important moment that we forget when we see other humans, that we are all biological creatures run by instincts first. Okay. So, for example, when we fall in love, very often we are hijacked by our emotions, by our biology, usually for procreational reasons, and even people who are not even able to procreate anymore. For example, people of either older age or same gender, they're still getting hijacked by this biological emotion. And we are biological in a way that we feed ourselves, we age, we die, but there is also this divine part of us about transformation that we'll talk about later. So also, what is energy? Some people may think it's manifested through our needs that we have, and through our emotions. And the important part is this: if you are not attracting the person you like, you need to adjust your energy. Your energy is off. Um, Also, it's a process of selection, and we forget that. So with selection comes rejection, right? And also transformation. So we need to be absolutely cool-headed when we come to the selection process. Some people really focus on similarities, and this is the treacherous part, because no one will be identical to you. So there are differences, and you just need to accept certain differences from you in the other person. Soulmate is a match for your soul, right? So it's a being that is really complementing you and working with you, and you making each other strong. It's not that one and only person out there that if you never met, bad for you. um, and also there's individual and blended, that again, it's okay to have your own space and blend with the other person on other levels. So what it actually takes, there is three parts to it. We will only discuss the third one, but also it's very important to get prepared, get yourself prepared for this process, to deal with fear and limiting beliefs. Also, it's very important to choose the right way, because if you keep choosing uh, wrong type of partners, you may always be disappointed. So you need to adjust your tool for selecting partners. And then also there are steps for building your relationships. So let's get to it. There are 7 stages of relationships. And you recognize first 3 that many of us go through. Unfortunately, some people end here, um, you know, infatuation, kind of the second stage where you're fed up, you're full, okay, and then kind of disgust creeps in. So this is actually a low level of relationships. um, there is actually another level, and again, some people never get there. Tolerance, respect, friendship, and true love. Let's go through each of the stages. So, infatuation. Um, this is the stage when we usually see the other person in a positive view, not only because we don't have much information, but because we actually apply our own expectations, and we kind of add from previous experiences, from our desires, some extra qualities that the person may not have. So we only see the positive ones. um, the on the left, the male, masculine, and feminine on the right. What is really important, and again, we're not taught that men and women behave differently, um, especially on this first stage. What is really happening because of biological part in us? So men focusing on physical level, on attractiveness, and the desire kicks in. They're very excited. They are blindsided by their own passion. The effort is on impressing the object of their affection, pursuing and not really thinking about long-term consequences or mixed signs. And for females, it's very intellectual and systematic in a way that they fall um, on the intellectual level by identifying qualities from their list in the partner, and matching those qualities to the partner. They have interest in learning more, and basically um, they they learn more and they listen more and trust the words that they hear. They open up really quickly. And again, biological desire for a female is to nurture and give more and care for, um, um, dismissing red flags. So, what is happening at the second stage, right? The fulfillment and satiety, or when you're really full, everything is going still well. You see the good parts, but suddenly you start seeing kind of not so great qualities, weaknesses, right? In the other person, and they kind of keep expanding and growing, and men feel this desire to kind of spend time apart. They also start feeling judged and not accepted, and start doubting the ability to make the other person happy, and also revert to usual ways of less effort. And this is also because you cannot really sustain that high performance state to impress someone, right? The reality kicks in at some point. So females um, also kind of start noticing things, inconsistencies in the male behavior. Um, Also, they attempt to change the person because they still think of that, that good quality. Um, they want to keep affection, but there is definitely discrepancy between words and actions. So, disgust. Um, Overwhelmed with negative messages, males do feel pressure of performing, and now not even sure if the person is compatible in the long run. um, they kind of start analyzing, should I even stay in this relationship because I'm not being accepted for what I am? So what is really interesting that's happening, we stop seeing positives and focus on the negatives, on the weaknesses of the other person, because they are kind of blown out of proportion. um, Same happens with a female part, because they are disillusioned about positives, overwhelmed with inconsistent behavior. They start making demands and miss this honest communication, and basically start feeling betrayed. So this is the point when a lot of people break up and start looking for another. If, however, you pass this stage, you'll jump to the tolerance stage. This is the hardest stage in a relationship. Tolerance is when you're still not really close spiritually. You should not still divulge your most, deepest secrets of your personality. This is when you really tolerate the other person in a way that you accept that they have positives and negatives, but there may be something else. You start noticing that this is not the whole picture. So there is a whole other part of both your being and their being. So what happens for a male part, it's they start learning to how to compromise and accept themselves, that they maybe cannot um, constantly um, perform at the highest level of satisfaction of a woman, but um, there are some steps to get to this um, zone where both entities, both participants start working together. Females learn to trust. They start accepting weaknesses and praise strengths, not only judging and suggesting their solutions, but praising the person and preserving boundaries. Let's move on. So the last one is friendship to true love. So this is where you not only realizing there is more to your personality and the other person's personality. You kind of start creating or discovering your new qualities that you didn't have before, because the other person starts giving you that energy that maybe you're missing, and supporting you. So, and what happens here is, for both female and male energy, you learn to open up, um, you respect the opinion of the other person, and support each other in difficult times. um, you do your best in caring for the other. You learn how to ask and help each other grow, and also wishing the best for the other, which means that of course you want your needs to be met, right? And it's kind of your ego speaking, but you realize that if that is not really what you want, but it's really the best for the other person, you understand that. And this is the really hard, that only is possible at the highest stages of your relationship. And you still learn love languages, about um, learning how to fulfill the um, needs of your partner, and also tell them about your needs. Okay, so for those of you who are visual, the same framework is in a different view, and I want to share this with you. Maybe easier to understand. So there is a meeting of two people. A male is attracted more by the physical, a female by intellectual part. And then there is uncertainty that kicks in, right? And uncertainty is related to emotions. Um, how do you make me feel, right? Are you fulfilling my needs? And both go through this part by learning about each other. Then the intimacy in a way that when we get closer, we learn about each other more. So only then, after males went through emotions with this particular woman, they can actually fall in love with her for what she is besides her body, right? The opposite is with women, and I don't think men even understand that, because it is biology. Um, for women, it's hard to to become physical if they didn't have any emotions with a person. So they need some time to develop those emotions and then fall for for the body of a man, I would say this. So that's why there's also a lag between, you know, men wanting physical and women wanting physical. And then men, in terms of intellectual part, sometimes men are so in love, they don't even ask questions from a woman because they don't really care. They love the physical part. But when they start asking questions about the woman's life, what is she like, that's when the intellectual part comes in. And then there's exclusive, where both develop a spiritual connection, and social commitment, where it's more about growth and expanding your personalities. Okay, so about the needs, right, in a relationship. You can learn more about those in the book I mentioned here. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Again, keep in mind it's you know, masculine and feminine energy, but in general, they say that men, they really need to be accepted and needed. Okay, and women really need to be cared for and respected. There are 5 languages. Learn the language of your partner, because if you are loving them the way you want to be loved, maybe that's not what they want. And again, it comes at later stages. This is a very important slide I just want to mention, and this will be covered in another presentation on how to choose the partner and how to adjust your energy. But when people ask, or who should I choose and how, by what criteria, what they recommend, and there are books about this process, not everything in you and your partner should be the same, because then it will not last long, or it will be boring. Won't be any polarization or interest, right? You have nothing to talk about because you think alike. So what you should have, spiritual part should be similar, because it's more like you know, your values, and also emotional, how you experience events. However, mental and physical should be different. And I just want you to think about this. Some people say, oh, we were the same people, but wanted different things. Or they say, we were different people, but wanted the same things. I mean, think about it. What would work better, right? In most cases. Now, common mistakes. We already covered it a little bit, but just to reiterate, men make because they focus on physical, not compatibility. That kicks in later. It's as if logical part is turned off in the beginning. Um, they act out of character to pursue and impress, not behaving authentically. And they want convenience, but not sustained by it. Not matching words with actions, over promise. And they also really fear non acceptance, then retreat. So women focus on the quality list, not compatibility. They trust the bluff that they hear. And sometimes men genuinely want to give all the things they promise. But again, it's biological state of the person. Women open up too early with no boundaries. They don't know how to receive, and they give too much. They judge and not accept or support. Um, in fear of losing affection, start pursuing and waste time on those who are not interested by trying to change them or change themselves. So, steps to take. Um, this is what I recommend. Um, Bring your best self selection process with uncertainty and possible rejection. And I want you to think of it as a reality show. You know, one of those when there are many contestants, and you know that a lot of you will be eliminated, but you know, one person will get either $1 million or love of their life. So be prepared. No matter how amazing someone looks, um, just be prepared for selection, uncertainty, and possible rejection. And think about this way, that it's not just them who may, not make it to the final round. It's actually you, right? Either you get rejected or you reject someone else. So be careful. So learn more to get the detailed picture, okay? Say and ask what's important, no assumptions. Communication, really important. And then match words to actions. And here, some recommend even tests. Ask kind of provocative questions, or test the person. And no excuses. Or, he or she did this because she had a bad day. I mean, just write everything in your mental diary, and kind of record all the events. Is it what you really think they said, or or it's just the exaggerated picture? Keep and respect boundaries. Again, we compromise our boundaries for the sake of love, and not only women, men do it too. How many examples we have that, oh my God, she said she loved me so much, I'm the only person in her life, and I robbed the bank for her. um, and then now we're not together, I'm in jail. So keep your boundaries, your values are important, and pace yourself. um, when you finally at the stage when you see not so great qualities, decide if you can accept and not try to change. Can you do that? Because you see, acceptance versus rejection is the turning point of the relationship. So that's why choose some good quality, and that's why we're talking about spiritual or emotional part, being in sameness. That will be your anchor when everything is gonna kind of become crazy, and you doubt everything, on uncertainty. That quality that you admire in your partner will be the anchor that may actually help you in this relationship. And time alone is okay, because some women all panic. Oh my God, he disappeared, and people need time to think and make decisions. Calm your self-talk and doubt. And the most important question here to ask: did you follow your values? Did you compromise on any values that you have? Did you do something that you shouldn't, because it wasn't you, but you did just for them? Because even if everything is going not so good, but you were yourself, you did everything you were supposed to, and you respect yourself for that, then you did the right thing. Um, and then, can you make it work? Can you come to a good meeting point of fulfilling each other's needs? Again, you may never completely fulfill the other person's needs, but at least is it a good meeting point that you're both happy? And if it is rejection, accept it. Don't fear to be alone, because you are closer to your true match. And if it is acceptance, right? If you are the winner in this reality show, continue the dance of two. Develop mutual parts, right? Keep this interest, keep this polarization, and appreciate the differences. So, coming to biological versus divine, what also I really want to tell you, some people blame the biological instincts on, everything bad happens because, I felt it and I couldn't resist. But when you think about it, biological desire is the force of nature to bring two very different parties together. Um, if it wasn't for that, maybe men would live with men, and women would live with women always, because there wasn't this kind of force bringing them together. And I just want to kind of mention the responsibilities of both parts, because a woman deserves a man who pursues her while respecting her boundaries, right? So, and this is on the man, and woman, because yes, you have to push boundaries because this is the biological desire, the force, you're progressing. But at the same time, if the person has boundaries, you need to respect that. At the same time, when women say, oh, there are no princes in this world, only frogs. See, I really like the statement, princes are as many as princesses, because if you behave yourself like a princess, and maybe, yes, sometimes it's hurting to the other person, you're not doing what they want, but you have standards, and you won't regret that later, then it definitely gets to the divine part of the relationship. And I really want you to read this, that there will be times in your life when you have to choose between being loved and being respected. Always speak being respected. That love without respect was always fleeting, but that respect could grow into real lasting love. I guess that's it. Guess this is the end, and now we can take questions.